obviously a successful weekend after you get to watch the tape and digest a little bit. What are your thoughts from the BU series?
I mean, obviously, winning 2 games is a good thing. The guys showed some resiliency. I don't know, like, how. I don't think we're going to see a lot of games like that. In the near future, it's going to be a lot tighter this weekend. Obviously, BU's got a really young team. It's very similar to last year when we played them. We played them at the same time of the year, and there's a lot of open ice because they're young and just getting used to the game. And we took advantage of our opportunities, which was great. We got to be better defensively. They got some guys that can really make plays, but going forward, going on the road, we're going to have to be better defensively.
Yeah, and it's tough to just turn around and play a UMass team right, and then let alone a short week. What are the challenges your team faces, and how have you guys approached that at the beginning of this week?
Well, the challenge that we have, we played 2 road games. We didn't play well. We're going to go play a really good team on the road again. It's way harder. It's harder than when you come out here and it's a crazy atmosphere and you get a ton of energy. It's just winning on the road in college hockey and Hockey East especially is incredibly difficult. So it's going to take way more than we had last week, and that's a challenge ahead of us.
What what has practice been like, right? What's the mood been? Are these guys kind of riding the high, or are they coming maybe with a professional mindset, not maybe taking it for granted and they came to attack this week, or what's?
Practice was better as it went along today. I thought it was a little slow to start. We're learning how to create energy on our own. We're learning how to do everything right all the time. Human nature, you win 2 games and you have a emotional weekend like last weekend, and then it's like, okay, we're good now. We got this, but we haven't arrived. We haven't, we're not the Montreal Canadiens here or anything. So back to work, So I thought it got better as it went along today. We got one more day. We practice tomorrow morning, and then we're gone.
As you watch the video, what's your reaction to 93, another weekend putting up some points?
Obviously he's got a knack for scoring, and it's a good trait to have. So, but he's working harder. He's working harder than he did when he got here. He's working harder than he did last week. And when you work hard, that overtime goal was just hard work, beating his guy up the ice. That 1-on-3 goal was hard work, just getting to the net, staying on your feet. So he's getting rewarded.
Overall assessment of the team's work ethic here, has it improved?
I think it's improved. Yeah, it didn't feel like either of those nights that we had guys that didn't work. And it wasn't perfect. We made mistakes, turned pucks over, made some mental errors, but the effort was better as a whole than it had been the previous weeks. Sure.
Hey, Coach. When you have a ton of young players who can, are clearly great at making plays, but also maybe overzealous and mistake prone, what do you tell them? Do you try to rein back some of that, front-footed impetus, or do you try to not, change their game all too much and trust that kind of maybe looseness and mental lapses will get better with experience? How do you navigate that?
You don't want to take away, their playmaking ability, but that's when you kind of use a little bit of the video and the analytical piece. If you're going to try something 5 times and it works once, that's not great odds, So, how can we do this without it being 4 breakaways for the other team, for every one time that it works. So they have to, learn how to take risks when risks are there, and then or manage the risk, maybe I should say, rather than take risks. You can make plays but you have to do it with your feet moving. You have to do it hard usually. In the power play, maybe there's a time and space to sauce a puck somewhere or whatever, but you have to make hard plays with your feet moving at this level. And that's what, those guys are working through it. They're all getting better. And we're living and learning through some mistakes a little bit.
UMass looks like they fire off a ton of shots, have a lot of zone time every game. How have you felt that the actual D-zone defense is going? What needs to be improved? Is it rotations and net front clearing, that kind of stuff? That actual aspect of the game? How do you feel?
I don't know if it's the D-zone necessarily of our D-zone is. like a lot of the goals we give it up are just, hey, we have a chance to get it out of our zone and we lose a battle on the wall and then it's in the back of our net. We have the puck on our tape at the blue line and we turn it over and it's an odd man rush going, it's in the back of our net. So, we didn't have a ton of I think a one or two where they were extended shifts in our zone last weekend. It wasn't a ton of that. It was more just poor decisions and then, mental lapses on, coming up the ice and losing some one-on-one battles on the wall. So, we're going to have to play better defense against UMass because, getting those bigger zones, there's more puck possession time defensively at times. And, so we're going to have to protect the middle of the ice and, put pressure when we get a chance to.
Must be always special for you going back to Amherst. The way your team's built and the identity you try to kind of establish, it's always reminded me of what they are kind of doing down there, the blue-collar mentality and all that. Is that something that you picked up from Coach Carville and, working under him to kind of dedicate your playing style to a similar type of game that they always seem to have every year?
Well, I think you just try to build your teams similarly. They have a lot of talent on their roster. They got some young guys like us too. But yeah, you're trying to build your roster similar, in a similar way where, hopefully you have enough talent to win at the highest levels, but you have the character and work ethic to work hard and work, and grind games out too. And so that's what we tried to do there. And Carvey was, awesome. He's an awesome coach. And he's done a great job there year after year. So, I definitely took a lot of what I learned there. Hopefully try to do the same here.
Two teams that are really going to try to, outwork each other, that are good at that. What becomes key in a game like that? Is it just details and execution and winning battles, as simple as that? Or?
Yeah, I think it's having poise and moving your feet when you have more ice. There's a bigger sheet of ice. You got to move your feet, and you have to have the poise and the confidence to hold on to pucks and make a play, rather than chuck it away. And there's more space to cover. It's the same. The game is the same inside the dots, but there's more space to cover, outside the dots. So you can either use that to your advantage or you chase the game the whole time, and it really kind of it becomes sort of a puck possession game. So it'll be a challenge because you're going in on a Thursday to play a really good team on their rink, on a rink a lot of our guys haven't played. So that first half of the game we're gonna have to manage it pretty good on Thursday.
This is my last question, but do you feel like that poise and puck possession kind of control was better this weekend than it has been? I know there were times where there are definitely turnovers and breakdowns, but it seemed like there were moments where there were a lot of regroups and just.
We did some really good things, and then we just have complete mental breakdowns at times, and you get up 2-on-0s and breakaways and 2-on-1s from pucks that are on our tape. So that's a lot of young guy stuff, a lot of. And that's all mental. It's all mental. You get in a big moment, you got the puck on your tape after you've been in your zone for 15 or 20 seconds. I got to get to the red line to get a line change, and you panic and you just start stick handling it, you turn it over, or you just go brain dead. And we got to get rid of those moments in our game. Hopefully that happens sooner than later. A lot of that is, obviously when you play good teams, they strip you too. So, yeah.